Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you the important series that I want to read in 2021. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Before getting into the books, I just wanted to say that most of these series are completed, but there are also certain series which I have included that are not complete yet. They have like 1 or 2 more books to be published in the series, hence they will be finished in like a year or 2 maximum. But I'm going to try and read these series in 2021. The first series in the list is the His Dark Materials trilogy by Phillip Pullman. One of the main reasons why I took this series as the first series to be read in 2021 is because this has been resting in my shelf for nearly 2 years now. I bought the last 2 books in last December, even before last December actually. I bought them in 2019 if I'm not wrong, 2019 March or something, and until now I have not read them. Finally I got the first book this year, and I'm going to try and read all these 3 by the beginning of next year itself, so that I don't postpone them even further. This is a sci-fantasy series in which science fiction and fantasy elements are present throughout the story. There are certain fantastical elements like armored bears, and there are sci-fi elements like portals that are being created and the power from souls of human beings being harnessed. Also, the special thing about the series is that the people who are the protagonist and any other character in the story have an animal companion along with them, which is kind of like their soul. So the animal companion as well as the human being, they are combined together in some way or the other, and the animal companion keeps changing its shape. That is, it is an animal, but it can change into different animals until a specific age, while the person, while the human being actually comes of age, what happens is the animal stops changing, and it attains a permanent form, and it's called the demon then. This is something which intrigues me a lot, and I've also watched the first season of the Hotstar series, which is His Dark Materials. I liked that, so I'm going to try to read the series first. The next one is a adult grimdark series, and it is the Nevernight Chronicles by Kristoff. This is another trilogy, and I bought this in August this year, and I've tried to start this many times, but I didn't end up starting it. Also, the first book, Nevernight, is in my December TBR. I don't know if I'll end up starting it or not, or I'll be saving it for next year. I'm not sure about that. Now, this series deals with the story of a girl named Meyer, who's a trained assassin, and the reason for her becoming an assassin is that while she was very young, she was her family was murdered in front of her eyes, and the actual plot of the 3 books itself is just Meyer taking revenge on the people who killed her family and avenging their deaths. Usually I like reading revenge stories because they just bring out the darker side of the human mind in a really good way, if you ask me personally. And also I do like reading grimdark stories. I have not been able to read them for like a month or 2 easily because the climate is so cool, and I don't like to read such kind of books in that time. I just like cozy reads during the times when they are cold, but when it's hot and nice and sunny outside, I am up to read anything, and I'm going to read the series during that time of 2021. The next series in the list is the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. Now this is a quartet, and hence it has only 4 books. The 4 books in the main series are Cinder, Scarlet, Cress and Winter. These 4 books are part of the main series, which show the overarching story as a whole, but it also has 2 short story collections which are Fairest and Stars Above. I'm not sure if I'll be reading them or not, but I'm very much interested in this series because one main reason is that I like Marissa Meyer's style of writing, because I've read only 3 books by her until now, and all of the 3 have been really good books according to me. Her writing style is very easily digestible, and I can suggest her writing style to any beginner because it's very easy to read and it's very enjoyable as well. The concept of the series is the reimagining and retelling of the classic fairy tales, in which the heroines of the fairy tales are replaced as cyborgs. Okay, instead of princesses or just damsels in distress, the protagonists of this series are cyborgs, and that itself is a really good twist if you ask me, and I'm sure that Marissa Meyer would have done a really good justice for this kind of idea, and I'm very much pumped to get into this. The next series is the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. Actually, the Mistborn series totally consists of 6 books. Of these 6 books, the first 3 books form a separate trilogy, and the second 3 books form a separate trilogy. In order to read the second trilogy, we'll have to read the first 3 books. The first 3 books are huge in size, okay. The shortest of all the 3 is this one, and it itself is nearly 700 pages long. Just imagine the other 2 books in the series, okay. I have not bought them yet, but I'm sure that I will be reading this series for sure. Another reason why I want to pick this up is because I've read Eldest and Wallbreaker, which are the 2 standalone works in the Cosmere by Brandon Sanderson, and I just love those 2 books, and I'm very much pumped to get into this. Also, this is his most famous series ever, I think. Even more than the Stormlight Archive, people like Mistborn more, mainly because it is one of those series which just put him in the map. Also, I'm very much intrigued by the magic system that is shown in this series, which actually depends upon metals, okay. People can ingest metals within themselves, and a person can manipulate one kind of metal, or there are like 10 to 11 kinds of metals in this one, and a person who's able to manipulate all those kinds is called a Mistborn. Also, this series is set up in kind of like an apocalyptic world in which the villain has already won, and the world is in distress already, and it rains ashes and such. I'm very much pumped to get into this because I know that Brandon Sanderson's books are slow, and there's a lot of build up and there's a lot of groundwork, but from the 2 books that I've read, I'm sure that his finales, that is his climaxes, are very much worth it. So I'm going to definitely read this trilogy this year. The next one in the list is a bit different from all the other series that I've included, and it is a series which is set in the genre of literary fiction. Okay, I've not even heard of a series being set in that genre, and it's also one of those genres which I've not read much of. Okay, so I've decided to read the series which is Backman by Fredrik Backman. I already have the 2nd book alone, which is Us Against You. There are only 2 books out now, and the 3rd book is yet to come. Okay, I've heard really good things about this series also. One thing which I've heard about Fredrik Backman's books is that he knows how to write human emotions, okay, and I'm a sucker for reading books like that, because when the emotions are translated into words, sometimes they just lose the meaning. There are only a very few authors who just carry the emotions as such through the words, and there are like very few, and this is one author which I've heard a lot of good things about when it comes to that sense of writing, and I'm very much pumped to get into this. The plot of this series actually revolves around a small town in which hockey is a main sport, and it is considered like it has a huge fandom in the town. What happens is one of the most famous hockey players of the town ends up raping a girl, and the reactions and repercussions that happen within the town after this incident takes place, that's what the that's what actually happens when in this series. Okay, there are only 2 books out now. The author has said that it takes a lot out of him in order to write books in this series, and that's why it's taking this long to publish the 3rd book. I hope that by the time I finish reading the 1st and 2nd books, the 3rd book is out, and let's just wait and see if I like it or not. Next one is a Shadowhunter series, and it is The Last Hours by Cassandra Clare. It has 2 books, okay, that are final, and the 2nd book is going to come out in March. The 1st book is Chain of Cold, which released this March 2020, and the 2nd book, Chain of Iron, is to release in March 2nd 2021, and I'm very much excited for that. I'm also planning to read Chain of Cold before that comes out, so that I'll be able to read Chain of Iron by the time it actually publishes. And one of the main reasons why I want to read this is it is the sequel to the Infernal Devices series. Okay, I've read both the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices. By the time I'm filming this video, I've finished my reread of the Mortal Instruments, and also my first time of reading the Infernal Devices, which I just loved. Okay, the climax of the Infernal Devices is literally one of the most satisfying endings that I've ever read. Okay, and ever since I read that, I want to know more of the stories of those characters, and I think this sequel, which is The Last Hours, will be a really good way to quench that thirst for me when it comes to reading in the Shadowhunter world. There are also multiple other series in the world which I'm going to include in the video further on, but this is my most I prioritize this more than any other series in the TBR for 2021, because I'm very much excited to get into this. Also, the names of the protagonists in this one are the things which intrigue me the most. Let's just wait and see whether I like them or not. Next one is another Shadowhunter series, and it is The Dark Artifices, also by Cassandra Clare. Okay, one of the main reasons why I want to read this series is because of the Shadowhunter series that I want to read. This is the only thing that is wrapped up and completed. Okay, it is also a trilogy. It has 3 books. Hence, The first one is Lady Midnight, the second one is Lord of Shadows, and the third one is Queen of Darkness. I have the third book alone. That's so strange, okay? But the best part about this book is that it's signed, okay? So it's a very special thing for me. This series actually revolves around the world of the protagonist, Emma Castes, who plays a really significant role in the end of City of Heavenly Fire, which is the climax of the Mortal Instruments series. And I was able to see a lot of threads that were starting to form between the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices. Mortal Instruments and the Dark Artifices. But in order to read the Dark Artifices, I want to finish reading Tales from the Shadowhunt Academy, which I will be reading. I'll finish reading by the end of this year. And I definitely do want to get into this series as soon as I finish it. But since I want to read Chain of Iron by the time it comes out itself, I'm going to wait and read the last task first, then I'm going to jump into the Dark Artifices. It's also a finished series, so I need not wait for any books to be released in the series. One of the main reasons why I'm delaying this also is because I want to buy the series entirely in hardcover and all the other books, okay? This one was available for a stealing price for me one day and I just bought it. The other two books, the first one and the second one, they are so expensive, so I'll have to save some money for some time, then I'll have to buy them. So let's just wait and see. I'm sure that I'll be liking this series a lot. The last one is also one of the most anticipated series of mine to read in 2021, okay? And I also think that this series will end in 2021 as well, because the first two books are out and the last book is only yet to come. The first book came in 2019, the second one in 2020, and I think the series will end in 2021. And I'm talking about the Eldest Curses by Cassandra, Clare, and Wesley Chu. Okay, this deals with the story of Magnus Vane and Alec Lightwood, who are like the most famous ship in the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and I'm sure that they deserve all the love they get, because it's a really great ship, guys. You just have to read and understand them. They are just a really awesome couple if you ask me. But the thing about this series is that each and every book occurs in a different part of the Shadowhunter Chronicles timeline. So in order to, you cannot just binge the books one after the other like you can read in the other series. In order to read the first book in the Eldest Curses, you'll have to you must have read the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments, then you'll have to read the first book in that one. And in order to read the second book in this in the Eldest Curses, which is the Lost Book of the White, you must have read the last 3 books in the Mortal Instruments and Tales from the Shadowhunt Academy. Only then you'll be able to understand the second book completely. I don't know where the third book is going to lie in the timeline, but I'm sure that by the time it comes out, I would have read all the other books, so that it'll be easier for me to get into the series. So I'm definitely sure that I like this, because it's Magnus' series. What more can I ask for? And I'm just very much pumped to read this. So yeah, these are all the series that I want to read in 2021, and let's just wait and see if I end up reading them or not. Also, let me know down in the comments what are the series that you want to read in 2021, and if you did enjoy watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel, because I publish new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.